today we want to bring the all that we've been going through, even as the government has removed the subsidy on the fuel, which is a very good move for us, the marketers. In our market chain, we are the last people in the market chain because fuel will come in the country and then we buy from the oil marketers and then we come and distribute it as retailers to the final consumer. For the last 2 years, we've been going through hard times as the dealers because we have had a situation where our margins have been eaten by the oil marketers. We have a body that is called EPRA that is supposed to regulate the prices of fuel. And every 14th of every month, we receive the prices that we should sell at on the retail level. On the same point, we also have a cap on the wholesale. But for the last a year and something, this has been thrown out of the window. We never have any wholesale cap. So we found ourselves in a position where we cannot be able to plan for our businesses. On 14th, you'll be given the prices, whether the price is going up or the price is going down or the price is staying constant. But when we go to buy our fuel, there is no cap on how the seller should sell to us. So you have a situation where you're supposed maybe to sell fuel at 170, and then you go and buy fuel at 169 or 168. You put transport, you are paying the rent, you are paying the employees. And this we have been waiting every cycle. We think things will be good. In the beginning, they start well. By the end of the cycle, we are making losses and losses. And if research is done, in our midst, so many people have closed their business. And therefore, we would want to request that the wholesale cap be returned because this thing is killing our business every day. We are also requesting on the subsidies money. Before, we used to have a lot of players in the market, the oil marketing companies that are importing the oil, and therefore there used to be competition. Today there's no competition. We have very few people that are able to have the cash to bring in the fuel. Most of the cash of the small marketers is held up in the subsidies money, and therefore we don't have competition. We really have to push for the few companies that you bring. And you find sometimes they will say that they are not selling to the non-franchised dealers. So they are just selling to their stations. And now we have to buy at the price that they ascribe, or we have so many stockouts. I want to remind us that the independent dealers make about 60% of the retailers of fuel in this country. So if we shut down, it means the economy will go slow and the big companies cannot be able to supply the fuel in the country. It was designed that National Oil would be bringing fuel for us, which is not happening today. And therefore, our request is that the government to pay the monies they owe, the pending bills they owe for the small oil marketers, so that we go where we had competition. Fuel being a high turnover business, the taxman is looking at the cash flows, and sometimes the monies they ask from fuel dealers is unthinkable. And we want to ask that the government should give us people that are conversant with our market. The way we have agricultural extension officers, or we have health practitioners who are specialized in a particular line. We want people in KRA who know our issues and how the fuel industry works. Because you find, because this is a controlled market, you did your returns 3 years ago. After 3 years, our officer comes and says, your markup according to the market is this. Your turnover is this. They do a markup and then they ask you for 8%, which is not realistic when you come to the ground. So we are asking that we have someone who is specifically dealing with fuel so that they can be able to understand exactly what we go through. We also want to ask this, government, because you need money from us. We are the business people that charge the taxes for you. We want to ask for tax education because us being business people, how much education do we have on tax? we will rely on accountants. And sometimes there are so many cartels between the KRA officers and the accountants that we have. We are asking that we be given tax education. Right now, we are rolling out, we are getting into ETRs that are connected to the teams, which is good. But let's come to the issue of VAT, which we are asking the government to scrap from fuel. And if it does not scrap, let it put that 8% before I sell. Let it calculate before I sell, I pay before. Because 8% is input minus output. Now, the output that the taxman will expect me to get, if I bought 10,000 liters, they will calculate for me 10,000 liters. And anything that is liquid, you cannot get out what you brought in. Number two, when you get to the oil marketers, the pipeline, the EPRA have a way to calculate the losses on transit, spillages. They are facilitated for us. For us, we have those spillages, we have losses on transit, and nobody calculates for us. Because of lack of competition also, we have marketers who have cartels. You go with your tanker, you get fuel, you are buying 10,000 liters, you get less 100. And because of the few people that are selling, you have to still buy tomorrow. So you have lost 100 liters times 180 shillings, that is the market price today. You've lost that money before you start selling. And now when you come with your product, the taxman expects you to pay the 8% of fuel that you never got to your station. And then this taxman wants to mark you up with the margin that they expect to be the margin in the market, but they don't remember that you did not have a wholesale cap. And this thing is being followed after how long? It is being followed after 3 years. So we are also requesting, because government, you're getting money from us, why don't we have somebody who is following our returns in a period that is shorter? Maybe 3 months after I do the returns, let this person come and say, you have not done well, you should do this and this, so that our system should not harass us. The canons of taxation, one of them is fairness and convenience. There is an effort to remove us from the market, because being 60%, of course, we are giving the big players a run for their money. In the year 2021, we were called for a public participation for a draft that wanted to be passed as law. And some of the things that were proposed there were just weird. One of the things was that you should give the amount of fuel you sell every month, and you should also, if you are putting up a business, you should explain how much money you have, where you are putting up a business, if there are competitors near. And we ask, this is the free market. Why should I explain to you? If I come and do my feasibility study wrongly, I fail. It's me that has failed. It's not you. And they were like, we don't want an investor to come all the way from France to put up a business and then they don't make a return for their money. And I remember asking, aren't we investors? So it's like there's an effort of pushing us, the small players, out of the market. Good that the subsidy is out, because now the market forces are the ones that are going to dictate the market. So it's good. With the subsidy, we used to have these small players, their money being held. And also even the big players, they want value for their money. There is interest, there is a cost for every money. So if the government is holding your money for 1 month, you want interest on that money, and definitely the cost will go up. So removing the subsidy is good for the market, is good for us.
Actually, we are the mamamboga in this sector. Mamamboga means this is the person that is in the interior. This is the person that is knowledgeable of the local situations in our situations here. We are selling fuel to the interior. The government regularized the bonda sector and they brought them inside. So the bonda sector is assisting. So these are the people, these are the players who found that even in the interior where there is no tarmac, we can have a single pump to reach those people in the interior. Now we are calling for protection from the government now. The government to protect these small players from the multinationals. We are legal in business. We are having all these certificates and the licenses. Now we request that we are recognized as legal players, and we are protected so as to get something and to have service provision to those other local people. Otherwise, there are so many licenses, and that's why we are requesting they be in one house, even if there are 20 licenses, we need to be considered. Somebody goes for 3-4 months without profit, and you look for money elsewhere to pay your employees. So that's why we're asking for government now to protect us. All those that are making laws in the parliament and elsewhere, they see to it that the important players here, and they are all protected.